Jeff Bezos lost money for 6 straight years, not thousands, not millions, billions, enough to end most careers, yet it built the most powerful company on earth. But here's the part that should make you uncomfortable. Wall Street loved him for it. Most people think Amazon won because Jeff Bezos was brilliant. That's comforting. It makes the story simple. One genius founder, one perfect idea, one unstoppable rise. But the real story is darker. Amazon didn't win because it sold books online. It won because it learned something no company had mastered before: how to lose money better than anyone else in history, and it did it for decades. By the time regulators figured out what was happening, it was already too late. Before we go further, pause for a second. If you've ever ordered something at 3 a.m. and expected it tomorrow, you're already inside this system, and once you're in, there's no real way out. Let me show you how this actually worked. Albuquerque, New Mexico, 1964. A baby is born to a teenage mother whose husband disappears before the kid can form memories. That baby's name isn't Bezos yet. A Cuban immigrant named Miguel Bezos adopts him, give him a new last name, and something more important: stability. Jeff Bezos grows up obsessed with systems, not people, systems. As a teenager, he talks about space colonies and orbital manufacturing. People laugh politely, no one takes it seriously. But that detail matters, remember it. Princeton, electrical engineering, computer science, graduates near the top of his class. Then he does the sensible thing and goes to Wall Street. By the early 1990s, Bezos landed at D.E. Shaw, a hedge fund that hires mathematicians and physicists instead of traditional finance types. This isn't a normal shop. It's a place where ideas get stress-tested by numbers. By 30, Bezos is a senior vice president, rich, respected, comfortable. Then he sees one statistic that changes everything. Internet usage is growing at 2,300% per year, not revenue, not profits, usage. When usage grows that fast, markets don't evolve slowly, they flip. Bezos builds a spreadsheet: 20 potential internet businesses, most are terrible, one stands out. Books. Not because books are exciting, because they're boring. Millions of titles, standardized products, easy to ship. More importantly, no single bookstore can carry them all. Books aren't the endgame, they're the Trojan horse. Think about it, a copy of The Great Gatsby from Amazon is identical to one from Barnes and Noble. No quality differences. No brand preferences, pure price competition. This means Bezos can undercut traditional stores on price, offer infinite selection, and collect data on what people actually buy. His boss at D.E. Shaw gives him honest advice. This sounds like a great idea for someone who doesn't already have a great job. Bezos hears the risk and takes it anyway. Would you have quit Wall Street to sell books online? Drop your thoughts in the comments. He convinces his wife to quit too. They drive cross-country in a beat-up Chevy Blazer while Bezos types the business plan from the passenger seat. That's not romantic, that's obsessive. Amazon launched in 1995 with $10,000 from his parents' retirement savings. The setup is primitive. A garage, desks made from doors to save money. Frugality isn't aesthetic, it's a strategy. Here's where the story gets interesting. Amazon made its first sale in 1995, a book on artificial intelligence. Within weeks, orders come from all 50 states, then dozens of countries. But here's what most people miss. Amazon isn't optimizing for profit, it's optimized for velocity. Every dollar goes back into growth, better prices, faster shipping, more selection. By 1997, Amazon went public. Revenue, $15.7 million, net loss, $31 million. Most companies go public to celebrate profitability. Amazon went public to fund losses. And Bezos was transparent about this strategy. In his first shareholder letter, he wrote something remarkable: Amazon would sacrifice short-term profitability for long-term market leadership. Translation: we're going to lose money on purpose until everyone else gives up. By 1999, Amazon's revenue hits $1.6 billion. Its net income stays deeply negative. Analysts start asking uncomfortable questions. Where's the profit? Bezos gives an answer that sounds insane. We're focused on long-term market leadership. But what was he actually building during these lost years? Three things that would change everything. First, the largest customer database in retail history. Every purchase, every click, every search. Amazon wasn't just selling books, they were mapping human shopping behavior at unprecedented scale. Second, fulfillment infrastructure. Those losses weren't just from low prices, they were investments in warehouses and logistics that would eventually become impossible to replicate. Third, they were building something called Amazon Web Services. Then the dot-com bubble bursts. From 1997 to 2001, Amazon's stock collapsed over 90%, from over $100 to around $6. Capital dries up, dozens of competitors die. Amazon almost dies with them. This moment defines everything. Bezos cuts costs aggressively, kills projects, lays off staff, but he protects the flywheel. Warehouses stay, logistics stays, customer obsession stays. By 2002, Amazon survived, and survival changes the game completely. Now Bezos understands something most CEOs never grasp: control the infrastructure and you control the market. Amazon launched Prime in 2005. Today, shipping for a flat annual fee, it looks insane. Shipping costs explode, margins shrink further. But Prime isn't about shipping, it's about behavior. Prime customers buy more, shop more often, compare prices less. By 2011, Prime members spent almost double what non-members spend annually. Prime isn't loyalty, it's a lock-in. What's your take on Prime? Genius customer service or dangerous market control? Let me know below. Then comes the hidden empire. While everyone focused on Amazon losing money selling books, Bezos was quietly building the internet's backbone. Amazon Web Services launched in 2006. Amazon takes the computing infrastructure they built for their own massive scale and starts renting it to other companies. Here's where it gets absurd. Netflix runs on Amazon servers. Spotify runs on Amazon servers. Even parts of Apple's services run on Amazon servers. Amazon's biggest competitors literally pay Amazon every month for the privilege of existing. This is where the uncomfortable math begins. In 2023, AWS generated over $90 billion in revenue. That's larger than McDonald's entire global operation. AWS profit margins, around 30%. While Amazon's retail business operates on razor-thin margins, sometimes losing money, AWS prints cash that subsidizes everything else. Amazon uses AWS profits to subsidize retail losses. Lower retail prices attract more customers attract more third-party sellers, more sellers generate more data and fees, that data improves logistics and recommendations, better service attracts more customers. It's a flywheel where every component accelerates the others. But there's a darker layer. Amazon now charges third-party sellers fees that can reach 45% of the sale price. Listing fees, fulfillment fees, advertising fees, storage fees. A seller might make $10 profit on Amazon, but Amazon makes $15 in fees. When you buy a product on Amazon, you're funding the system that will eventually make it impossible for that seller to exist anywhere else. Amazon controls roughly 38% of all US e-commerce. In many categories, their control is near absolute. Need batteries? Amazon's Choice brand captures over 60% of online sales. Here's the mechanism nobody talks about. Amazon studies which products sell well, manufactures their own versions, then uses their platform dominance to promote their brands over the original creators. They call it private label, everyone else calls it something different. Because Amazon controls search results, advertising, and fulfillment, competing becomes nearly impossible. Jeff Bezos started with $300,000. Today, his Amazon stake is worth over $170 billion. But here's what should make you pause. Amazon achieved this by convincing investors to fund losses for 6 years, building infrastructure with those funds, then using that infrastructure to create an ecosystem where competitors have no choice but to pay Amazon to compete. It's brilliant, it's legal, but it raises questions about what kind of economy we're building. In 2021, Bezos stepped down as CEO, not because Amazon was done, because the machine no longer needed him. Andy Jassy, the head of AWS, took over. That choice tells you everything. This is no longer a retail story, it's a system story. Bezos moved on to Blue Origin. Space, infrastructure again, long-term bets, delayed gratification, same playbook, bigger arena. So here's the lesson most people miss. Amazon didn't beat competitors by being smarter, it beat them by being more patient. It exploited a system where capital rewarded growth over profit, where scale mattered more than margins, where losses were forgiven as long as dominance increased. That system still exists. Which raises an uncomfortable question. Who's the next Amazon? Not the next big app, not the next viral product, the next company willing to lose money long enough to own the rails. If this trend continues, markets don't become more competitive, they become more centralized, fewer winners, bigger moats, higher switching costs. That's efficient and dangerous. When a company becomes infrastructure, who should control it? And if the system rewards monopoly behavior, is Amazon the problem or just the preview? What's your prediction for what comes next? And do you think this level of market concentration is sustainable? Drop your thoughts below. If this breakdown changed how you think about Amazon's dominance, subscribe. Because the stories behind these trillion-dollar companies are never what they seem on the surface. The question is whether you're ready to hear them. If you find this video valuable and subscribe for watching more interesting videos like this. Thank you.